We are going to install Starlink antenna on our ship, and with this we can access high-speed internet even in the middle of the ocean. Only people who have worked on ships would understand how difficult it was to communicate between ship and shore. Since olden times, how did people communicate with ships at sea? After launching Elon Musk's Starlink satellites, how internet facilities changed on board ship? In this video, we are going to see the answers for all these questions. In ancient times, the ships at sea had limited opportunities to communicate with the shore. Due to lack of technological advancements, people used simple means to communicate between ships. For example, techniques like blowing horns, hitting war drums and lighting giant fire torches helped with communicating certain things, but these techniques were effectively used only for shorter distances. However, for the ships that sailed thousands of miles between continents, these techniques did not help much. So sometimes days and even months went by without information about the ships that were at sea. After a few centuries and many scientific inventions, huge improvements were made in the ship's communication systems. When internationally recognized flags were hoisted in the ships, the ability to convey short messages between ships got stronger. Sailors used the Morse code, a way of communicating with dots and dashes, to exchange information. This helped during the night time when the flags could not be seen. Shorter messages were exchanged between ships with smaller lights that split them out in Morse code. As for shores, it was the work of the lighthouses to guide the ships safely. At first, huge fire torches were lighted on the mountain peaks to show some light for the ship in early 18th and 19th centuries. To keep these fires burning constantly, people used whale oil, a byproduct taken from sea whales. It is said that the whale oil was preferred because it helped the torches glow brighter. With time, however, people shifted to kerosene and even electricity to keep the light glowing. And to this day, lighthouses keep faithfully guiding ships with their beacons. Thus far, communication was possible between ships only for shorter distances. However, with the discovery of radio waves, a huge revolution occurred. At the beginning of 20th century, ships were fitted with telephones that operated via radio waves. This facilitated voice communication, the ability to transmit people's voices, and that also helped with clear messages being transmitted and received across longer distances. However, since radio waves only traveled linearly, they could not circumvent the Earth's spherical shape and reach even further longer distances. To overcome this shortcoming, satellites were introduced. Radio waves traveled at the speed of light and could be sent to a satellite from land at a particular frequency. The transponders fitted in the satellites would receive them, change the frequency of the waves correspondingly, and send the signal back to the Earth. These signals can be received by any ship via the receiving antenna fitted in them. The messages sent from the ships at the sea use the same method to reach the land. The geostationary satellites specially used for this purpose have a unique feature. They are stationed about 35,786 km above the equator in the geostationary orbit in space. This means the single satellite would cover the majority of the regions of the Earth. These satellites help with getting uninterrupted communication services. Using just a few such satellites, ships stationed anywhere in the world can able to communicate easily. Called VSAT, this communication method has advantages and also disadvantages. These signals sent via the geostationary satellites have a lot of latency, meaning they require more time to reach the satellites and return. For example, if someone at land says hello to someone on board a ship, the words signal have to travel 35,000 plus kilometers to the satellite and then the same distance back to the ship. This would take up a few seconds, and this delay makes even an ordinary conversation a bit difficult. Besides, there should be no obstruction in the path that the satellites use to send or receive signals. Things like bad weather and even a cloudy sky would reduce the signal strength in the satellite and make it difficult to hear the words clearly. In busy ports like Singapore, where thousands of ships use the same geostationary satellite simultaneously, the signal lose their quality and communication becomes harder. There are also areas like satellite shadow regions, Arctic and Antarctic land masses, where there is no coverage from satellites. Because of this, ships cannot use latest technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning and IoT. On top of all, there is huge expense involved in facilitating this communication. Millions of US dollars are required to send a geostationary satellite to space and keep it functioning. The dish antenna fitted in the ships to receive these signals have to be strong and powerful to withstand heavy weather, and one such antenna would cost around 40,000 to 50,000 US dollars. And because the allotted bandwidth for such communication is very less, the data plan cost is quite steep. For example, a data plan for 100 MB would cost about 50 US dollars, and a voice call lasting 10 minutes is being sold at $10. Due to the very high cost of data plans, the ship's crew use this very rarely and only for important communications. To this day, despite advancements on land like 4G and 5G, ship's crew are in a dire state of shelling out around $50 for a low quality 100 MB data plan. They have to buy international SIM cards when their ships reach a harbor and use them to talk with their families. But ships spending very less time in ports, chances for ship's crew to communicate with their family is also getting reduced. Hoping that they would get a signal in the middle of the sea, these sailors would slightly deviate the ship towards any islands that might be in the general vicinity. While this may allow for signal, sometimes it could lead to a dangerous situation for the ship itself. This is how in July 2020, when a bulk carrier called Wakashio was traveling near the Mauritius islands, they had slightly altered the course of the ship in an attempt to get mobile signals. Unfortunately, the ship hit the coral reefs in that area and caused a huge oil pollution when the ship went down, polluting the ocean. This greatly affected the reefs and the general environment. It is said that almost 95% of accidents with ships happen because of human error. But on the other hand, the crew, without being able to speak with their families for months on end, go into a desperate state. And sometimes this desperate state is also a reason for mistakes to occur with their jobs. But like a miracle that eliminated all these issues came the Starlink satellite. This Starlink project was designed by Elon Musk's SpaceX. The Starlink project's goal was to provide high-speed internet across all corners of the world using low Earth orbit satellites. The geostationary satellites used so far are about 36,000 kilometers away from the Earth. Therefore, communication between them and any point on Earth takes some time. But since the low Earth orbit Starlink satellite is just about 550 kilometers above the Earth, communication happens quite easily. Since these satellites are close by, they cannot cover a large surface area like geostationary satellites. So they send thousands of satellites and connected all points of Earth like a spider web, facilitating communication easily. Using this satellite, even if the ships were in the middle of the sea, they could get internet at broadband speeds. Now, just by fitting the specially designed antenna for Starlink satellites, ships have gotten broadband level internet. One could say that this has completely revolutionized communication at sea. Technological advancements like AI, machine learning and IoT can be used even on ships now, bringing a huge change in the way the ships operate. Above all, now the crew can contact their families without any hassles. And using high-speed internet for educational and entertainment purposes has contributed to better mental health for seafarers even during longer journeys. Overall, Starlink internet service have improved traditional shipping practices, enabling more safer and efficient maritime operations. And today we are going to fix this amazing technical advancement, Starlink antenna in our ship. When our ship was waiting to cross the Panama Canal, a boat brought the food and rations for the crew and spare parts for the ship. And one of these boxes contained the Starlink antenna. Everyone was so happy the moment they noticed this box. And people were very eager to see how the Starlink antenna would look like. All of us stood together to unbox and we took out the products one by one. And finally, we saw the Starlink antenna. We felt very happy and proud to even hold it in our hands. Many people were eager to fix the antenna immediately and check out the speed of the internet. But our company advised us after crossing Panama Canal to create a permanent stand and fix the antenna. After crossing the Panama Canal, our ship started its journey towards Houston in US. And all of us wanted to install the Starlink antenna and experience the high-speed internet during this long voyage. First, we made an installation plan to decide where to fix the antenna so that it would always be in the view of satellite, so that we can get uninterrupted internet services. The plan was sent to the company, and after discussing with many experts, they gave their approval to fix the Starlink antenna. All of us started working hard to install this antenna. First, we had to prepare the antenna stand and we handed over that work to our fitter, who is very good in cutting, fitting and welding activities on our ship. He is also called as an expert on all workshop activities. If you have prior experience with welding, fitting and lathe works, and if you think you have the ability to creatively solve any problems that might arise, you could also join as a fitter on ships with very good salary. Our fitter prepared the stand within a very few hours in our engine room workshop, and we took the stand to Monkey Island, the highest part of the ship. As planned before, we marked the place where antenna was to be fitted. We scrapped all the paint in that area and placed the stand. And the fitter started welding the stand in place again. The most important navigational bridge is right under the Monkey Island, as it would be a huge problem if even a spark reaches this area. So we were all very careful and used all precautionary measures. Our fitter did exceptional welding and fixed the stand in the Monkey Island. Our company company also provided us with the fitting arrangement for the stand and the antenna. We had to place this on the stand, tighten the nuts and bolts, and finally place the Starlink antenna on it successfully. It had just 4 screws underneath it and was fitted properly on the stand. There was a C-type cable inside the box, and this is the cable that connects the antenna and the modem. We took the cable via Monkey Island and then the navigation bridge, then via the navigation locker which had all the communication devices, and finally fixed the modem. We integrated this with the existing communication system on board our ship, so we don't require any special or specific changes in our system. Once we completed the antenna fixing and cabling work, we informed our company, and our company started work to activate the Starlink antenna. Through the internet providers, the Starlink has been activated, and once we got the intimation to check the speed of the onboard internet, we were all really amazed. We got nearly 80 Mbps download speed, and that was huge for us. For the first time from onboard ship, I did a HD video call to my home and felt very happy about that. To reduce the time wastage due to unlimited internet availability, our company limited it to 3 hours per day per person, and they have created special login IDs and passwords. We were happy with that, but too much of anything might be harmful too. Be it what, one cannot dispute the fact that Starlink internet services are going to revolutionize the communication systems at sea. If you found this video interesting, please hit that like button and let me know your thoughts by commenting below. Your comments will motivate me to create more shipping related videos. See you all in my next video. Until then, take care and thank you.